Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Let's dive into the conversation. So, I'd appreciate if you have any comments, please put them in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free, drop them in. Um, as you know, this is a live broadcast. So, I'm just going to dive into the conversation and I will take question and answers at some point in the chat today. Um, Thank you all for joining me wherever you're joining from. Thank you for taking the time on your Saturday morning to be with me in the studio this morning. Now, I'm going to dive into the conversation, and today I want to talk about something super important that I think from my 20 plus years experience coaching and training so many thousands of professionals in their careers and in their business. One thing I believe so much that is super important is the fact that the landscape has changed massively. And as a result of that, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are struggling to secure new opportunities, struggling to be recognized, struggling to secure interviews and land the kind of jobs that they deserve. So what I'm going to be doing is basically breaking down, something super important, which is talking about something super important, which is why you are not getting hired, even with your certifications. And this is potentially a wake-up call for professionals, aspiring professionals, working professionals, career switchers, and people who have a lot of academic or professional certifications, and you're waiting for your break, and that break is not forthcoming. Key nugget to bear in mind today: you do not have a job problem. The problem you have is a proof problem. You do not have a job problem, you have a proof problem. A proof problem. You've done everything right, you studied hard, you passed the exams, you stacked up on your credentials, but again, nothing is happening. Rejections, ghosting from recruiters or hiring managers. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why it is not the reason you think it is. The frustration is so real. So many people are applying for jobs, dozens of roles. You are tweaking your CV and your resume every application, customizing your CV. You've earned a lot of certifications that cost you real money, cost you real time, but nothing is still happening. You are not lazy and you are not unqualified. You're just playing the wrong game with the wrong tools. Now, let me give you a fair warning before I dive deeper into this conversation this morning. This conversation will challenge what you currently believe. So there are some uncomfortable truths ahead. I'm not giving you any motivational talk today. This is not a pep talk. But what I'm going to make sure I do is at the end of this conversation, I'm going to make sure that you have a clear path forward. Some of what you're about to hear will feel unfair to you. It might even make you hungry. Anger is good, actually. It means that the message is landing. And like I said, it might feel like diagnosis, right? But like any good diagnosis, it helps you if you are quite honest with the symptoms. And today, I'm not here to depress you or make to make you feel bad, but I want to give you some sort of direction. And by the end, you will know why you should do this or what you should be doing differently. The lie that nobody warned many of us about is get certified and you will get hired. Take the training, take the course, get the accreditation, and you'll be hired. And it is one of the most repeated and most damaging pieces of career advice, especially in the modern workforce. This used to be true, but it's no longer true. Now look at this. The painful truth about certifications is the fact that 87% of job applicants, especially in tech, in data, or business roles, they hold at least one professional certification. 87% hold at least one professional certification. 62% still get rejected, out of the certified candidates. and the report being rejected or being ghosted within the first round of screening. Bear with. And finally, 1 in 3 of people who are certified or accredited are working in roles that are below their certification level due to a lack of demonstrable experience. Now, let me be clear with this. Certifications haven't lost their value. It's not that they're not valuable. No. What they have lost is they have lost what I call rarity, because everybody has them. And when everybody has certifications, it stops being the differentiator and it becomes the bare minimum just to be considered. The room is getting warm. If you're still here, let me know. Put your comments in the chat. I'll take your comments and your questions in a bit. So like I said, when everybody has certifications, it stops becoming a differentiator. It becomes the bare minimum just for you to be considered for a job. And it's not your fault. It's not one's fault, really, why you believed the certification myth. Number one, institutions sold it really hard. You have a lot of training providers. All you need to do is go on YouTube or go on the internet. You'll find training providers, boot camps, platforms that have financial incentive to tell you that certifications equals employability. They don't tell you that, they don't give you the full picture, unfortunately. Also, this used to be true, like I said, 10, 12 years ago. If you have AWS certification or holding a PMP certification, it genuinely stood you out, genuinely. But at the time, the market was smaller, right? So at that time, credentials meant something rare. It could be a major differentiator. But that world no longer exists. We have moved on. The world has changed. The hiring system is opaque. Nobody tells you what exactly got somebody hired. So you only see their credentials on their LinkedIn when you check. You don't see their portfolio. You don't see their project. You don't see any proof of why this person was hired for this job, right? So this made many people believe that certification is actually the only differentiator. Now look at this. And this is what hiring managers actually say. Picture this. 200 applications for one role. 200. And 40 of them list the same certifications as you. The same courses, the same course names, the same, logos. From the hiring manager's side of the desk, all of you are the same. You are all identical. Everybody looks the same based on certifications and credentials. But the truth is that the certification trap is so real. Table stakes, they are not differentiators. It used to open doors, but now they prevent the door from closing on you. So I'm not saying certification is bad. I'm not saying your accreditation is not good. But what I'm saying is it's not good enough to make you stand out. They can get you past the ATS filter, nothing more than that. So it's the bare minimum to get through the door. Everybody has the same thing. Google, AWS, CompTIA, PMI, and you can name so many, certification bodies. Every job seeker that is serious has gone through the same platforms. So your certification is not unique. But what can be unique is your work. Your work can be quite unique. More certification is basically more of the same. So the natural instinct is to stack up more credentials. But if certifications are the real differentiator, adding more doesn't solve the problem. It basically just delays your day of reckoning. All right? So let's get in. Now, hiring is not an education decision. Now, this is speaking from a hiring manager's perspective, from a recruiter's perspective. They are making a risk decision, and they're asking one silent question. If I bring this person in, will they be able to do the job without causing me problems? Certifications they don't answer that question. What answers that question is proof. Proof that if I bring you in, will you be able to do the job without causing me problems? Show me the proof. If you can't prove it, you don't have it. Knowledge is not equal to capability. Capability is not equal to proof. But what is proof equals to being hired. What I'm saying is passing multiple choice exams tells an employer that you can memorize content under pressure. You can retain information. It doesn't say anything about what you do when the problem is not multiple choice. You might actually be capable, you might actually be brilliant, but if there's nothing for an employer to look at, to evaluate, or to point to, your capability is pretty much invisible, right? But listen to this. If you show the work, if you show your thinking, you show the output, that is what closes the gap between being qualified on paper and getting a confirmation date of employment. Let that sink in. I'll take a sip of my drink. Okay, now let's move on. This is the real game, right? The real game is here. And I want to talk about what employers actually want, okay? Forget about all the HR language and the lingo on job descriptions and whatnot. The polished interview scripts, you can do all of that now with AI and everything. But at the real core, every employer wants the same thing. They want someone who can walk in and get the job done. Simple. Employers want somebody who can walk in the door and get the job done. That's it. The questions they're asking is, number one, can they actually do this? And they're not asking this question theoretically. They're not talking about theories. They're not talking about what you know. They're not talking about your test. In the real messy context of this job, with all these tools, with all these stakeholders, will this person be able to deliver? Or will this person embarrass me? Because what they are doing is they are taking their reputation on every offer that they make as hiring managers or recruiters. So if you cannot prove ability, what you represent is risk. And basically, risk gets rejected. Risk gets rejected. Bear with me. I'm going to make a change on my... If you're still here, make sure you're putting your comments in the chat. I'll be coming back to them. There'll be time for question and answers. Okay. And then I'll be putting some polls up as well. If you have any questions or if you want to answer, please follow the poll on the screen. I'll put them up so you can bear with me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, like I was saying, I'm getting some. Give me a second. Oh, okay. Okay, that's better. All right. Okay, we're back. So, like I was saying, what they want to know is how fast can this person contribute? How fast can this person contribute? Nobody wants to babysit a new hire for 6 months. If your application signals a long ramp-up time, you are competing against candidates who don't. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? And I want to talk about the experience paradox that is trapping you, right? This is not a new problem. So I'm just trying to picture it. So look at it. Starting from the left on my end, so you're right, I guess on the screen. You need experience to get hired, right? Everybody knows that. Before you get hired, everybody's looking for experience. Now, that is frustration on its own because it is an impossible task. If you're a new graduate, you're just finishing school, or you're trying to switch careers, or you're trying to get a new job or get a promotion, you need some degree or some level of experience in order to get hired in that your new target role, right? So it's frustrating basically, as almost an impossible task, because you need a job to get the experience. And then that becomes catch-22. because that's a dead end. Now, everybody goes through this loop. You cannot get a job without the experience, and then you go through, that's where you get trapped. The loop of despair, I call it. And then you get back to that constant failure of desperation, which is back to needing experience. And the cycle goes on and on and on and on. Listen, I have done this for over a decade, and I can tell you, this is not a new problem. The stakes have never been higher. We are in a highly competitive market, so the experience paradox eliminates candidates before they ever get a fair shot. Everybody has experienced this, most people. The only escape is to manufacture your proof before you're hired, right? So that you don't get trapped by the experience paradox. Your escape out of this is to manufacture proof before you are hired. And I'll show you how you can do that in a minute. Look at this. There's two candidates I'm comparing here, and this is just a brutal breakdown, right? Candidate A has got AWS certification there, PMP certification, 3 online courses, a good GPA from their degree. Some of them even have like 2 degrees, a master's and a BSc. And the only difference here is candidate A has no portfolio. No portfolio. On the other side, we have candidate B. Candidate B has only got 1 certification, right? They've got, however, a simulated cloud migration. Now, this is where it gets interesting. They have a documented case study. Documented case study. The difference is if I'm a hiring manager or any hiring manager will snap up candidate B within weeks compared to candidate A. Same certification, but completely different outcomes. The difference here is not talent, ladies and gentlemen. The difference here is evidence. It's not talent, it is evidence. Now, the AI economy just raised the bar. It gets interesting, doesn't it? Now with AI, you can pass tests. Most of the certification exams, you can pass them with AI. The bar for qualified has basically moved. In an economy where tools can replicate knowledge, human judgment, problem solving, and demonstrated output are what separate you from the machine. I'll say it again. What separates you from AI or from the machine is your human judgment, your problem solving capabilities, and your demonstrated output. That makes you stand out from the machine. Meaning you haven't just used the machine to assimilate or ingest knowledge, but you can actually make judgment. You are hired for what you can prove. That is it. Not what you know, not what you've studied, not what exam you've passed at 3 a.m., but what you can demonstrate, show, and put in front of a hiring manager. And you say, I did this. This is how I did it. And this is what it produced. That is what we're talking about. And that is what makes you stand out. Now, for you getting rejected, which is, I think I should talk about this because this is super important. The reason is because you have no portfolio or no project work. Your application for the job does not show any evidence of output. Nothing for recruiters or hiring managers to look at. You've got nothing to share. You just have a resume or a CV that reads like everybody's. Number 2, zero evidence of problem solving. You've never shown a real business problem. You've never shown how you solve it. So you cannot really talk about it during an interview, and you can't show it in your portfolio, right? Number 3, you've got a generic spray and pray applications. Like you just throw CVs at job vacancies. Mass applying with the same CV. It basically shows low intent. And a recruiter can smell that, okay? And lastly, why you're not getting hired is you cannot tell a story about your work. You can't tell a story. What is your story? Because as an interviewer or as a recruiter or as a hiring manager, I want you to tell me about a time that you did something. If you have only studied, you've only gone to school or you've only collected certifications or accreditations, there are no stories. You have no stories, no context. What that means is you've got no credibility. No credibility. No credibility. So this is why you're getting rejected, right? But this is what I bring to you today. What actually gets people hired is that the fact that you are certified does not necessarily mean that you get hired. The people who are getting hired are not the most certified. They are the ones that can show what they have built, the problem they have solved, or a solution or a product that they have shipped. That is the shift. It starts from the mind. You need to have that shift in your mindset. This is the entire game, ladies and gentlemen. Proof over paper all the time. This is what gets you hired. The portfolio gap is your opportunity. A lot of candidates don't have one. In fact, majority of candidates rely on their CV and their credentials. The portfolio is still very rare, which means having a portfolio right now is an immediate differentiator. And you can build one before you get hired. You don't need job experience to build portfolio experience. You need real-world scenarios, structured problems, and documented outputs. That's it. And it signals everything employers are looking for: initiative, work ethic, problem solving, communication. Your portfolio answers the hiring manager's core question before the interview even starts. Okay? Your portfolio does that for you. And before and after, let's look at two scenarios. If you are let's put yourself in this scenario for me. Before, you are the invisible candidate. 3 certifications, 0 projects. Applied to over 60 roles. I was looking at somebody on YouTube, said he's applied to over 500 roles and he said nothing. That's the reality of the world, the marketplace that we are in now, right? Maybe get 2 first interview rounds, no offers. Your CV reads like, or your resume reads like 200 other people in the pile. You could not answer, tell me about a project that you led or a problem that you solved. After you have applied what I'm telling you, which is the portfolio gap, you become the hired candidate. You still have these 3 certifications, but now you have 3 simulated portfolio projects. Now you've applied to 15 targeted roles. You most likely get 7 interviews and 2 offers within 2 months. Portfolio link, you share it with every application. You have stories, context, and deliverables to discuss. The certification did not change. What changed is the evidence of capability. The evidence of capability changed. That is my message for you today. And 3 things hiring managers are looking for. 3. 1, they're looking for your relevant project experience. Have you worked on something that resembles what this job or this role requires? Even simulated, even unpaid. If it is real, it counts as signal. Number 2, they're looking for evidence of problem solving. Can you walk through a challenge, explain your approach, and articulate what you learned? This is the core of the interview. It only comes from doing actual work. Number 3, communication of your thinking. This is super important. The ability to articulate. It's not enough to solve a problem. You need to be able to explain how you solve the problem clearly, concisely, with confidence as well. And that is what separates a good candidate from great ones. You've got to be a great candidate. And this is how to stand out in 2026, ladies and gentlemen. If you're still with me, the job market in 2026 rewards the candidate that brings simulated real-world experience that mirrors actual job tasks day to day. Not more studying, not more exams, but what you need to stand out in 2026 is realistic, documented, deliverable-based work that signals readiness before your first day on the job. This is the differentiator, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm here today to help you to change your mindset, a paradigm shift, a turning point, to say, stop collecting just credentials. You can do that. That's fine. It's a starting point. But that's not what I want. That's not my message for you today. What I want to you today, what I bring to you today, however, is for you to start building evidence. This is the mindset. This is the shift. The shift is not complicated. It is uncomfortable because it requires doing real work instead of taking another course. And this is where a lot of people struggle. But it's the only move that actually will change your hiring outcome. This is what makes you hireable. Period. Now I'm going to dive into Career Bridge, which is bringing the solution to this challenge that I've highlighted to you today. You know, I'm not going to come here, talk to you about the challenge, the problem, why you're not getting hired, without preferring a solution for you. So I brought a solution for you today. And this is me introducing Career Bridge portfolio simulations. Before I do that, though, let me check, bear with me. If people have questions, I can see some questions coming through. Somebody said, let me see. Please, can you share the slides afterwards? Yes, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, the slides are there. This is live, and I'm going to leave it live, so you can actually get the slides after. Also, if you wait till the end, there's something I'm going to share, and all you have to do is just make a request for it, and then the team will send it to you as well. I'm going to take more questions, like I said, at the end. But let me dive into this solution that I brought for you today. Career Bridge now brings you a structured program that gives you real-world scenario briefs. So, for example, the kind of challenges actual companies are facing every day, so that you can do the work, you can build the deliverables, and you can walk away with a portfolio that proves that you are ready to be hired. This is the differentiator, and this is what I've been saying all morning. What a simulation looks like and what it is, it's not a course, it's not a quiz. A simulation is a combination of many things. Of course, a course, a quiz, whatever is part of it, but a simulation is a realistic professional scenario. So, for example, you have been brought in as a data analyst for a retail company, experiencing 20% drop in sales. Here is the data. What do you recommend? Now you take that scenario, you take that challenge, you go away, go solve the problem, go do the analysis, go do the research, go do the reporting, go do the documentation, and then you bring it back. What's interesting is you produce real deliverables. You are not answering questions. You build things, reports, dashboards, strategies, proposals, audits, real outputs that live in your portfolio, that show what you can do. That is the difference, right? And then you document your thinking. Each simulation will help you to capture not just the output, but the process that you went through to get the output. This is your reasoning. How did you get to this decision, this conclusion? What trade-offs did you make? That is what makes interview gold, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what a simulation is. And that's how you build a simulation portfolio. Now, this is how Career Bridge simulations work. And listen, I've been doing this for a long time. So, like I said, if you don't know me, just go like, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. A lot of testimonials are there. Been doing this for a long time. Transformed so many people's lives. So this is me now, bringing this at a level that can be scaled and many people can benefit from this, because even with AI, I think it becomes super, super more important to take this more seriously, right? How Career Bridge simulations work: you receive the brief, like I said, you get the real world scenario brief, you complete the work, you execute the task, and you secure verifiable evidence, right? This is at a very high level, by the way. So then you document your deliverables, you record the outputs and your thinking. And what you do then is you get it added to your portfolio. You can publish this as your work. You can publish it in your resume, on your LinkedIn portfolio. And when you are making your applications, you are now applying with proof. You are not applying with claims. As you know, the CV is a claim. It's a claim of capability. It's not evidence of capability. Each step in the career brief simulations is designed to mirror what you would do in the role, on the job, so that by the time you walk into that interview, you are not talking hypothetically. You are talking from experience. You're talking from a place of confidence, like somebody who has done it and has the evidence to show for it. And this is what you walk away with if you come in to career bridge simulation, portfolio simulations rather. You leave with a job-ready portfolio, multiple completed simulation projects across your target industry with documented deliverables you can share with any hiring manager. You've got confidence that you can feel. This is not head knowledge. This is confidence from the heart. You know what you're talking about because you know that you've done the work and you can point to something real, and that changes how you show up in every application, in every interview, in every conversation even. So your level of confidence is boom, just like that. And then you have interview stories that land. You are providing real answers. For example, to tell me about a time that you did something. You draw from actual work that you've done, not hypotheses, not hypothetical scenarios that you've invented. And that is the problem I have with a lot of training boot camps and course trainers and all the rest in the world today, right? We create all these hypothetical scenarios that people have invented that has not much reality or connection to the real thing that people do every day in the job or the problems that companies are facing. Anyway, the last thing you walk away with, a competitive edge that is rare. So most candidates won't do this, but most will keep stacking certifications. This makes you different, which means the ones that build portfolio will stand out immediately. So your knowledge to proof transformation, I have captured it here for you in 4 steps. You know it, and this is where most people stop. You know it, which is certifications, courses, training, degrees, all that stuff. And what this does for you is it confirms that you've absorbed knowledge. I'm not negating that, I'm not canceling that. I'm saying that's okay, you can do that, but that's like the starting point. Number 2, you apply it. And this is where simulations, this is what it does for you. It forces you to use that knowledge that you've acquired in realistic, messy, real world context. Yeah. Number 3, you prove it. And that's the evidence. You show your deliverables, you show your documentation, your portfolio projects become visible, shareable evidence. And of course, the 4th and last step that most people are waiting to skip from number 1, they want to skip to number 4, is you get hired, ladies and gentlemen, because employers will see your capability before they take the risk on you. And the hiring becomes an easy decision for them. And that's where you want to be. Now, what is inside career brief simulations? You have real-world scenario brief for different industries. You've got some data, context, constraints included, deliverable templates and frameworks you can use, multiple industries, tech, data, business, operations, marketing. Actually, we're starting with 4 core disciplines. I'll talk about it in a moment. Difficulty levels, depending on your level. Support system is available, so guided walkthroughs and feedback loops, presentation for your portfolio, interview prep tied to your project, community, that's an important one, of peers doing similar work as you, and access to office hours every month where you can, discuss your challenges, so get support in real time, mentors and the like. So this is a big opportunity that Career Bridge is bringing into the marketplace, and I'm quite excited about it. The people that are ideal for this, if you are a career changer, maybe you're pivoting from a different field to another, or you have earned certifications in your new domain, now you need proof that you can do the real work, the actual work. This is so that you're not just saying that I've passed the exam. No, you want to show that you can do the real work. Recent graduates, of course, we know that a lot of graduates don't have experience, and the experience product I talked about earlier, this is a lot of, most graduates are in this loop, unfortunately. Your degree or your bootcamp gave you theory, but the job market is looking for deliverables. So simulations give you the professional expertise that your education did not give you, or your academic education did not give you, to be clear. And lastly, certification holders that are stuck. Maybe you've been applying to jobs for months. You have the credentials, you just can't get past the screening stage. A portfolio changes that conversation for you, definitely. And these are some evidence from people. Like I said, go to YouTube, search, you'll see a lot of people who have been through a similar journey with myself, and you will see the testimonials and the evidence there. So industries covered: technology, data, business operations, marketing, customer service, project management, product management even. Now the choice is yours. And this is where I want to land my message today. You can keep doing what you've been doing, ladies and gentlemen. You can continue doing, it's your choice. Everything I've said today, you've got a call, you've got a decision to make. You can apply for and you can continue applying with certifications, and you can continue hoping that something will land. So basically, apply and pray. But hope is not a strategy. And you can continue wondering what you're doing wrong. Or you can make one decision today that changes your entire trajectory. And that is why you're listening to me or you're watching this video today. Option one, you continue applying with your certifications alone, and you continue getting more rejection, more silence, more frustration. Your CV is not different from other 250, 300, 500 people that are applying. No answer to tell me about what you've done before. You don't know, because you've basically just crammed a lot of information and passed the theory. And every application you make continues to feel like a lottery ticket. And your confidence actually gets eroded with every rejection or every non-response. We all know that. So I'm not going to dive too much into that. But you've got another option, which is what I bring to you today. You can build undeniable proof with simulations, which is you have a portfolio that stands out immediately. In a couple of weeks, you have real answers for every interview question. You have applications backed by visible evidence, confidence rooted in actual work that you've done, and a path to hired, not just being considered, to getting hired. You have these two options, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll leave you to make that choice. But if you don't do anything, there's a cost of doing nothing as well. Number one, every month you delay is money you're leaving on the table, money lost. Every month you're unemployed, you're underemployed, is in a role that is beneath your potential, is income you're never going to recover, right? And it's compounded financial damage. Yeah. The cost of doing nothing, the gap on your CV continues to grow. Don't forget, hiring managers and employers, they always are looking and they observe employment gaps on your CV. So the longer you wait, the harder the conversation becomes. So if you take action now, what you do is you close the gap faster than any cover letter will do for you. And the cost of doing nothing is also that somebody else will get the role. Right now, a candidate with a portfolio is applying to the same role that you want. They have evidence, they have proof, they have context, they have stories to tell. You have credentials. You already know how this ends, right? You do. So that's the cost of doing nothing. And when you take action, right? What I just described is when you don't take action. But if you take action today, you complete real simulations, you walk through structured real-world briefs, you produce professional deliverables across your industry, you build a portfolio that speaks for you, excuse me, you interview with confidence, and then you get hired for what you can prove. The hiring manager sees your capability before taking any risk on you, or the decision to hire you becomes obvious, not uncertain. So when you join, I'll go through this very quickly. Real-world briefs, portfolio build framework, guided feedback, interview prep, support, accountability, community, completion credential, a verified credential that you can showcase on your LinkedIn, your portfolio, to show hiring managers and employers that you have completed professional grade simulation project deliverable. Professional grade simulation project deliverable. That is super important. Super important. Now, this is something I want to give out today. We are opening the door for 25 people only in this month of April. That's it. 25 people only. We're going to give you a discounted price of 75%. You don't pay the 100% money, and I'll tell you the price in a moment, but this is what you need to do to get 75% off completely. Career Bridge Portfolio Simulations, we are opening to a limited number of 25 members. Bear in mind, I said 25. So you get priority access, early bird pricing, which I just told you, 75%, and direct input into the simulation scenarios that we are building. We continue to build, we continue to evolve them. Now, what this means for you is, as a founding member, you get significantly reduced access for being the first cohort to get in for this month of April, and you get access for life, locked in. After this, the price will go up when we close this wait list at the end of this month. And you don't need to do anything. You don't have to pay any money today. I'm just telling you to get yourself in the door. Limited stores, only 25 people. We are doing this intentionally because we want to ensure that the feedback is quality, and we want to serve people based on first come, first served basis. So no risk enrollment, just join the wait list, no obligation today. 75% if you signal your interest now. You get full details before committing, so the spot is yours whilst you wait, or whilst you review to make your decision. So no commitment, nothing to lose. All you have to do is take action, and I'll tell you what to do to get into the room. Certifications get you here. They got you where you are. Like I said, proof gets you hired. So you've already done the hard work of learning. Now is time to do the visible work of proving. One decision separates you from where you are to where you want to be. So this is your time to take action, ladies and gentlemen. Stop waiting for the right opportunity, because the opportunity is here. Career Bridge Portfolio Simulations is here. It requires you to stop being passive about job searching, and what you need to do is to start active proof building. This is what I'm telling you. Stop adding certifications and stacking it on a broken strategy. More credentials don't prove or don't fix a proof problem. What you have is an evidence problem, a proof problem. The only fix is evidence, and evidence only comes from what you do, right? So start building what gets you hired. Join the wait list today. I'm going to show you the link in a minute to join. Do the simulations, build a portfolio, change your outcome for life. It starts with your decision today, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you get in. I'll leave this on my screen for a moment. I can see some comments in the chat. I'm going to address them. All you have to do is scan this QR code and basically send an email. That's all. No commitment, nothing. Scan to join. The QR code here gives you access to the wait list, and it takes less than 60 seconds to just say, boom, tinyurl.com/myportfolio-earlybird. You can follow that link, or you scan the QR code, whichever is easier for you. And that makes you qualified to get access to 75% discount. Now, the price, for people who might be wondering, is our launch price is $69. $69, right? To get access to our first simulation. And we're going to be releasing, and the price will change afterwards. But that is not the price you pay if you signal by scanning the QR code and sending it in today. You get that price 75% less. Once you signal, we will get a full program breakdown, the pricing, the link to get it, access the discount, and basically you start stacking up your evidence. So let me quickly recap. Number one, what I've covered today, certifications are table stakes. They are not differentiators. Number two, hiring is a risk decision. What you do is you have to reduce that risk, and you need evidence and proof to reduce it. Number three, the portfolio gap is your competitive advantage, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, you are hired for what you can prove, nothing else. You are hired for what you can prove and nothing else. I'll put some questions here for people that might be wondering, okay, how do I get in? How do I start the simulations? How do I begin to stack up my evidence? Do I need prior work experience to access this? No. And that's the point. Simulations are designed for people who don't have any traditional experience in your target role. Even if you do, you can still do it. Because if you notice, on every job, it's not every scenario that you cover. So your starting point is your certifications, and then, of course, your willingness to do the work. In case you're wondering, we also have certifications if you need them, but make sure you signal interest today. Excuse me. How long does it take to complete? I'll give you an example. Each simulation takes about 8 to 15 hours, depending on the complexity and your pace. It could be less, much less than that. But a lot of people complete 3 or 4 simulations within weeks while working or studying part-time. Will employers actually care about simulation? Yes, employers will care because your deliverables are real. The problems are realistic, and your portfolio looks professional. So employers evaluate output quality, not whether the project was paid for or not. No, it's output quality. Somebody might say, oh, what if I'm not in tech? Yes. Career Bridge, we cover multiple industries. We are launching 4 disciplines already: product management, cybersecurity, customer service, and project management, agile project management. So even if you don't have, if you don't have any tech experience, you definitely have a spot to get started. So if you have a professional training or anything, it doesn't matter. In any of these domains, there's simulation definitely for you. And as I wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, today, you have earned certifications through discipline, sacrifice, and belief in a better future for yourself. That was not easy. I acknowledge that. But now it's time for you to take the next step, the one that actually moves the needle. Build the proof, get the job, and change the trajectory of your career and your life. The best time to start was 6 months ago. The second best time is right now. Now I'm going to take your questions or address anything else that I've not addressed in the chat. So ask me anything. Okay. Somebody says, can I, hold on, what's the name of your channel? Okay. Nike. Let me go back. Somebody said, okay, let me go back to the QR. If you cannot scan the QR code, just look at the link on my screen, type it in your browser. It does the same thing. What this does is basically allows you to send an email. All we need is for you to send an email to say access or say grant, whatever the title, just put it. As long as we get that email, we know what it's all about and we will address it for you. Okay. The name of my channel on YouTube is actually, it should be showing on the screen. There's a yellow tick at the bottom of the screen, but it's youtube.com/Victor Sunday. Together, one word. Victor Sunday, one word. Right? youtube.com/Victor Sunday, one word. The same thing on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, go for Instagram, go look for Victor Sunday _ right? I couldn't get Victor Sunday to work. So Victor Sunday _ and follow me on Instagram. On Facebook, is the same thing as this Victor Sunday Global, I believe. Let me just check. Let me double check that one. Give me a second. Just to be sure. Yep. So on Facebook is Victor Sunday Global. Yes. Victor Shonde Global. Just search for me on Facebook. Same thing on x.com, Victor Shonde. On LinkedIn is Victor Shonde as well. Just linkedin.com/in/Victor Shonde. You see me there. But the most important place so that you get all my educational materials that I've shared over the years. I've got tons and tons that I've shared over the years on my YouTube channel. Just go search on my YouTube channel, Victor, and subscribe and comment and whatever. But it's Victor Shonde to answer your question. Let me see. Any more questions? Okay, please drop in the comment box. Okay, I will do that for you now. Oh, somebody actually just did something. Thank you for somebody. Claire, thank you for adding. Claire Omagbemi, thank you for adding my YouTube channel in the comment. I'm going to put the link to the QR code in the channel. Bear with me. So I'll put on the channel for you. There you go. So that's the link there. Yeah, that's it. I'll put the link in the chat for you. And that's the link showing on my screen as well. Just follow that link and just send an email. That's all you have to do today, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you have to do today. As soon as you do that, just send that email, even if it's blank, it doesn't matter. How it works is we would just be in touch with you, give you all the information you need to get you started, and that's pretty much it. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been a part of this live stream today. This is going to be a continuous live stream. Like I said, this is different. And I really want this message to go far and wide. My next workshop is coming up very soon. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, especially follow me on LinkedIn. You can't connect with me on LinkedIn for now, but subscribe to YouTube, follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on all social media channels, basically. So you get real time about when I am coming live to share and to educate. You've got nothing to lose. If not, you've got so much more to gain. And on this note, I'll say thank you so much for being a part of the live stream today. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again another time. God bless. Bye-bye.